Hello and welcome to today's video where we're going to go over 5 teams that represented the 4 major regions at Worlds in 2023 and try and figure out which one, or if more than one, are going to go to Worlds in 2024. All 5 of these teams definitely not doing as well as they did last year, that's without a doubt. But really, I think the goal is for this, like, which one out of all of them is the likeliest, in your opinion, to get to Worlds? I understand some people are going to be like, oh, none of them are going to go to Worlds. Let's, just for the sake of it, for the thought experiment, which, can we bend our mind a bit to be able to get one of these 5 teams in? All 5 leaving a lot to be desired, especially in spring and in the beginning of summer. So, in the case of Weibo, we have 3 of 5 players remaining from the starting roster of last year, and they have already swapped the top side once this season. LNG swapped out junglers, in addition to screwing around with the support role, and now having Hung back in the lineup. KT Rolster, BDD is the only one that remains. 4 of 5 players swapped back in. And NRG, 4 of 5. Ignar going out for Huhi being the only difference. And then Mad Lions Koi going through a lot of changes. And in winter did very well, which I thought was a possibility. In the comment section when I did banter and go back and forth with the Mad Lions fans, that got really quiet all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. I don't know if their fans stopped following League of Legends or they're embarrassed or what. I don't understand that, but maybe that's why the scene is the way it is in which Mad are from, right? Because it's just you kind of going away and hiding when things get tough. That kind of just goes to show you just what kind of fan base it is. But nevertheless, Elyoya is the only one that remains from last year's starting lineup. So, of these 5 teams, which one has the best chance to get to Worlds? Because Matt, I believe, still has enough championship points from winter and spring to be in season finals pretty much. So that is a thing. Now, if I'm thinking about it, I've said it before about Weibo. Fearless draft is not a great indicator for the team's strength. LNG in the same boat. Personally, I think that using a format that is not going to be the one in playoffs is ridiculous. I had a back and forth in the Discord about how, it's not too crazy, but I really do think it is fundamentally an abomination of a schedule, an abomination of a format. It's very different than if you took a best of 1 and turned it into best of 3s or best of 5s. You're literally changing the way the champions are picked based on a fearless draft versus a standard. Which, if you stuck with fearless throughout the entire process, I mean, if they can't get it, then they can't go to Worlds, But now it's going to go back to standard, and I think that Weibo and LNG still both have a chance. Now, KT, perfect. A young player deserves a lot of opportunity. Maybe I just now was a little bit too harsh on him. KT, in my opinion, only has one true carry in Pioshik. And you're going to say, really, Pioshik a carry? BDD, in my opinion, is a facilitator at best, playmaker, but not a carry. I don't want BDD to have a ton of resources. And then you look at Deft and Barrel, that's coin flip as hell. But not to mention, Deft, in my opinion, at his best, is a weak side 80 carry, especially at this point in his career. So, if you have 2 players that are weak side or facilitator oriented, you need to have that carry threat, that player to take over the game. And I just don't think KT have it because, like I said, Pioshik is the guy. And, I mean, in this meta, I guess that works, but shoot, I mean, that's rough. That's rough. And in the LCK, T1, Genji are easily going. HLE are a gatekeeper team. I think that they're going to go. And then D plus Key, I mean, Lucid has continued to perform at a high level. Amy and Kellen are getting a little bit better together. And I expect them to return to Worlds. So I'd almost argue that I really, in this meta at the very least, I do not see KT going. I really don't. I don't. And then NRG, I mean, in the LCS, anything can happen. We saw Team Liquid go to Worlds when it should probably, you'd think it'd be Cloud9 or FlyQuest, or I'm sorry, not Worlds, MSI. And Cloud9 or FlyQuest were going to be the favorites, but Team Liquid go on a run and get in. Even NRG struggling last summer and then going on a run and going to Worlds. And people will say, yeah, but they beat the good teams and lost the bad teams. I mean, it wasn't clean, right? And I mean, I think that there's room there for NRG if something crazy happens at the bottom of the group of three, if you will. So I guess third place for Worlds. And then Mad Lions Koi. I mean, that's a toughie. I don't think that they get in. Mirwin is not having a great second split. Well, sorry, third split, I guess, with the LEC schedule. Didn't have a great second split either, but is one of the most fun, and I think what am I looking for? I'm very optimistic about Mirwin. I think he's excellent. I think Alvaro is excellent. Elyoya is a very good jungler, one of the best in the West. Returned to that form, in my opinion, this year. But the carry roles of Frescowi and Supa leave a lot to be desired. And especially Frescowi. Supa has shown that aggressiveness that I guess he had in ERLs, and he got away with it in the beginning. He's not getting away with it as much now. Maybe teams are adapting to them, and I figured that would happen eventually. The coaching staff's excellent, but I mean, it's a tough sell because BDS are getting better now. G2 and Fnatic are still excellent. So, it's just tough, especially with SK. I think SK's bot lane completely smokes Mad Lion Koi's. And at that point now, I mean, SK are like that team that are a true threat in fourth place. And it's not Mad Lions Koi. So, I mean, really, it's probably between Weibo, LNG, and NRG for me. And NRG, it's only because the LCS is extremely unpredictable because, I mean, the region leaves a lot to be desired. And then Weibo and LNG, hell, they're playing in a format that really doesn't matter. Weibo have a new team relative to the format they are going to play in the future compared to last split, with Breathe and Tarzan over ZDZ and Zhao Hao. And this current meta is not beneficial for a player like Tarzan. Zhao Hao would have been a lot better in it. But the top side, getting Breathe instead of ZDZ is an upgrade. I see a lot of people saying Breathe is a fraud. I think that is ridiculous. I think he's better than ZDZ. That's not saying a lot, but I think he's an upgrade. And then LNG, I mean, Wei Wei is not better than Tarzan. And Scout hasn't been great once again. And Gala and Hung, I mean, they can only do so much. Zika isn't doing as well. Like, LNG are all playing very poorly. So, it's just one of those things. Like, I guess I would have to say it's tough. Weibo, LNG, or NRG. I'm probably going to end up sticking with LNG, I guess, because of 4 out of 5, LPL. The format currently is giving a weird vibe. Losing to, didn't they lose to Rare Atom? That was sus. But I think there you have a more potential turnaround than Weibo do. Weibo not only actually, I mentioned the top side changes, but they did bench Crisp for Expert. So I think that in and of itself says Weibo are struggling more than we're even seeing. And LNG, I mean, they're not screwing around with things. I mean, they did sign Shadow, but I don't believe he's played yet, if I recall. So, Shadow's not better than Wei Wei, so that move would be weird. And then NRG, I guess, could go. So, hard take, I guess, I'm dreaming LNG, then NRG, Weibo, KT, I guess, then Mad Lions Koi would be my order for likeliest to go. And I'm not going to put percentages on it. I expect somebody not to wait this long into the video and place percentages, and I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for, outright. What's the likeliest team of these 5 to go to Worlds? And who is the least likely, I guess. So Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And hope to see you again tomorrow.